Okay, welcome back. Just a little recap. Filter project, which you can kind of see in the background here. Let's see if I can change this without shaking everything too much. Not very well. Okay, scratch that. Stop moving. Okay, welcome back. Filter recap. Okay, so I've run about 12 gallons through the filters, and it seems to be running clear. Before it had like little white sandy, almost salt like looking sediment in the bottom of it. Wasn't a big deal, but dump it out. It says to run it a few times in one side of directions. One side of direction says to do it once. Do it 3 or 4 times, a couple gallons at a time. And let's see, I did 3 gallons yesterday, another 5 gallons for a time test. It took over 3 hours because I didn't come back and check it when I was supposed to. But at 4 hours, it was completely empty. So, well, mostly it only had like a pint left in it. The very, very bottom layer didn't come out. And 4 more gallons through it, 2 gallons at a time. Then this morning did 3 more, and then now I'm doing 5 gallons as it's running right now with my handy dandy stopwatch. So right now it's about 20 minutes, and it's filtered out a little over a gallon and a half. So at 5 gallons, it does about a gallon every 15 minutes. And then 4 gallons, it increases a little bit time wise, because as there's more pressure here, the gravity feed, it helps force water through. When it gets down to about here, it slows way down, this bottom part. But right here, it's running about 20 minutes or so. 15 minutes from the 5 gallon mark. The top of the band here is about 5 gallons on these buckets. So 5, 4 is right about here. 3 is just below that line there, so about there. 2 gallons is about there, and then 1 gallon is below the O, which is about there. So if you want to measure it out, find something that's a gallon, 4 gallon at a time, mark it with a Sharpie or something. Then do another gallon, that's your 2 gallon mark. The same thing I did here. Now mine wasn't perfectly level, but right about the top of the band, here's 5 gallons. Simple enough. That's it. Now, the solids test. It does test a little better than the tap water, but my tap water, as I pour more in, the solid level goes higher. So it drops to about 4 or 5.05, which really is not removing any the solids, not like the zero filter does, but it does get rid of the taste. The taste that I didn't like. So it works more like a Brita filter than it would a zero filter. Brita filters really don't filter out a lot. They do get rid of taste and odors. That's about it. It works. Now it's about, on average, say 30 minutes per gallon. More pressure takes less time, but when you average it all in, it's about 30 minutes a gallon. 27, 28 minutes. So say 30 minutes a gallon. So you got 5 gallons. 2.5 hours later, it should be done or almost done. You might have a pint, less than a quart, in the bottom of the bucket. If you wait that extra half hour, you'll probably have about a pint left in the very bottom. Hardly anything. 6 to 8 ounces. So an 8-ounce cup is what? A pint? So like I said, about a pint. I haven't tried out the tap yet. I still need to build a bracket. I'm going to lay it down on its side. And then I need to make a stand. I'll probably make the stand tall enough to put 2 full buckets in the bottom. And put the one I'm going to have the tap on top. That'll be the next video. A flow test for that tap. It might be fine to just open it up and let the water run. And then if it does need a vent hole, it'd be really easy just to heat up a nail or something. Just poke a little tiny hole in the top of the bucket, up on the lid on the opposite side. Because that lid's going to be dedicated for what it's doing, and there'll always be that little bit of extra on the top. So it shouldn't like start flowing out. And if it does, it's only going to lose, what, maybe a pint or two. But just to have the airflow to let it run, it'll be fine. So I'm working on the brackets now for that. Got some ideas, but I need to do some actual measuring and kind of find out what level is. That's it. But the filter works, but it works like a Brita filter. It doesn't take it doesn't. You're gonna have nice, clear, clean, perfect water. It's gonna be more like odorous taste. You're just gonna get rid of some of that. Now, what it actually those filters do, they don't tell me. They don't say that get rid of whatever heavy metals, whatever, but they do work to a degree. So, be like comparison wise, it's like a Brita filter, and I used a Brita filter for 10 years, and it helps. Water tastes better, and I've used it in places where the water's absolutely horrible. I've used the zero filter in places where the water's absolutely horrible. They work. They help. Zero is better, but those filters you have to change a lot more frequently when the tap water quality is not so good. It's like where I'm at now, it's like 3 to 4 months now. It used to be every 6 months. So something going on with the water. It's still drinkable, but it's a lot higher than it used to be. What else? That's it. All right. Well, the water filter works. To what degree, I don't know. I don't really have anything else where I can test to find out what's left in it. I can send a water sample off, but I really don't want to spend the money on that. So if you buy a better filter, the concept's still the same. But if you buy a better filter that actually guarantees to remove out heavy metals and whatever bacteria, then it'll work better. I bought a cheap filter. I didn't expect it to work perfectly, but I expect it to work, and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to. If you want to spend more money, buy a better filter, like $60 a filter. Same concept of building it. Put your holes in, measure out your distance, make sure there's plenty of room. If it's a slow filter, put more one filter in. Concept's still the same, but spend some more money, buy a better filter. Be happier with your results, baby. All right, that's it. Enough for the update. Have a wonderful day. Today, I'm trying to make a water filter. Yeah, you can go to the store and buy your own. They work good. Look, I got one right there in the back. You can't really see it over on this camera, but a little zero filter. Works good. Nice clean water. But what I wanted was something to do with more volume, because I'll be having quite a bit of a camping experience coming up, and I need to take as much fresh water with me as I can. And the water here is just horrible. I don't know what they're adding to it now, but chemicals are really bad. It's comparatively, if you've ever been up north where they use road salt, and so they've had bad snow for like 10 or 12 days, they just pumping road salt down on the ground left and right. It's just, and then you get a glass of tap water to drink, and it just tastes like salt. That's what it tastes like. I don't have a water softener. So whatever they're treating the water with, I don't know why, it has that taste to it. It's horrible. So I need to take fresh water with me, and I don't really feel like doing it through my little gallon at a time, if I'm lucky, zero filter. So I'm trying to do something else. So I got this idea offline. I saw this years ago. I don't remember who posted it or whatever, so I don't know. But pick up candle filters. What do they call these? I don't know what this is made out of. Diatomite. I don't know. What's diatomite? Anyways, it's like ceramic kind of thing. There's like itty bitty little pores in there. So, got 2 of these. 2 5-gallon buckets. The idea is put the filters in the bottom of the one bucket. This goes on top of another bucket. So, either cut out holes for it. So I'm just going to put 2 holes here. So these filters, this part of the filter, this round part, will fit right through the hole. So then this bucket will sit on a second bucket, and the water drains from here, gravity feeding into the bucket below. When you're done, take that bucket off, take the lid off with the holes, put that on your filter bucket, and then there'll be another lid for the bucket of water with one of these. It's just a little valve just to open up. This is a cheap valve. It's like $1. Got it from Amazon. Comes with a little gasket. Came with 10 of them. So worst case, on the bucket that's supplying, the idea is that this lid will go on here. This valve's going to be here. Bucket's going to be laying like that at a little bit of an angle, so the water just feeds. Now, worst part, I don't know if it's going to work. I may have to add a vent hole on this lid, or a second valve, so that way I can let air in and water out. It increases the flow rate. I don't know if air will come in this valve at enough of a rate so water can flow efficiently. Some do, some don't. This being cheap, I don't know how well it's going to work. It'll work, I just don't know how well. So I got 2 of these. Put in the bottom of a bucket. Gotta make the spigot lid. And then I gotta make the lid for the filter bucket to sit on the other bucket so it drains into it. So I got about 6 holes to drill, maybe file out, I don't know, because I don't have one big enough for this, but there's enough room. These tabs might just fit into the holes, and I won't need a bigger bit to drill it out with. So we'll find out. So we got the parts. I'm putting 2 ceramic filters in. I'm pretty sure I could probably fit 4 in here if I wanted to. So that. Let's put 2 holes here, 1/2 inch, and then I need probably 1 inch and a 9/16 center, 3/4 inch. So I need 3/4, 1 inch and a half. Oh, no. 3/4, 1 inch and a half. I'm just going to use paddle bits. That's it. Paddle bits. So yeah. Okay, those are half. 1 inch for this downspout. 9/16 center. 3/4 inch hole. So yeah, that should be it. already marked out everything, so I don't have to sit here and line it out and everything. These, you can be careful. Put a hole in my little cheap plastic table. So, okay, buckets on camera. Already got it lined up. Outside feels good. Inside feel. A little sandpaper. I don't have a reamer. It's pretty good shape. Okay, bring my sandpaper. So let me run and grab my file and sandpaper. Additional tools. See that? This is for opening paint buckets. This, for all intents and purposes, is a paint bucket. They even come with the brand new tabs on them. See that? So yeah, I could have popped this lid on here when I'm done. I'm not going to get it off unless I rip the seal and get one of these and pry up on it. Work great. Anybody ever has to deal with paint buckets, you should have one. This is actually for opening bungs on barrels too. It's got these little knobs. See that? This other side for the big one. Just put that in, turn it. Now if somebody really cranked it down on the metal one, it may not come off, but if you do it like normal, just a little snug, like you're supposed to, it does work perfect. And this is a scientific method. I'll probably edit out a lot of this and just go to, okay, now that's done. Next step. So who wants to watch somebody ream out a bucket with a sandpaper? Nobody? It doesn't take much. Just no sharp edges. No high spots. If your finger don't snag on it, don't feel like it's going to scratch. This should be fine. Shouldn't hurt that little rubber seal at all. Silicone, whatever it is. Outside is not so critical because the seal goes on the inside between the filter and the wall of the bucket, the bottom. So it shouldn't be an issue. Okay, moment of truth. Is this going to fit in there? So I already got the gasket on here. I want the paper on there so I don't touch it with my hands. Okay, so gasket, gasket, of course. The other camera stopped at some point. Okay, gasket. Now this goes in the bucket. 1/2 inch worked. Okay, installed. See that? That one's a better picture. I can see it. I just can't see me. Okay, I see it. The big one. There we go. There's plenty of room in there. See? Should be centered. I could probably fit 4 of those in there. Easily. Now I did wash these buckets out beforehand. But there's just enough static electricity to keep these little bits of plastic in the buckets clearly. Okay. One down, one to go. So 3/4. Okay. Horrible cinema. Okay. Ta-da. So this, trying to figure it, cleared everything. Okay, that looks good. This goes on here. Come on. Okay, that's straight. This goes on here. Another plastic one, make sure not to stretch. Just hold it up. Weight kind of centers it. Push that down. Okay, that worked out good. This is higher than that. The inside lip cleared this little tab. And it's close enough to the bottom. I'm going to guess maybe a couple of quarts aren't going to pour out of it. Now the other thing is I might need to add a vent hole to this one. Don't know yet. So We got these two ready to go. Hopefully that didn't strip. Find something to get better gasket now. So it sits on here. Could go with a 1/2 inch. Those buttons a little bit wider than the paddle bit I got. So, ta-da! Okay, you can see that. Rules. I measured out that I needed 1 1/4 inch. Well, I got 1 inch. No, 1 1/4 inch. One. If it's oversized a little bit, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just gotta be there. Sharp edges. Okay. Well, in theory. Makes a mess. Get my little dust buster clean this up. Wow, 30 minutes. We'll have to edit this down a little bit. Oh wow, look at that. Ew. Here's a mess. All over the place. I look like I'm going bald. Not really. I have hair. This hair. Really? You gonna work now? Okay, now you're gonna work. Okay. This will have to come off for sure. Go ahead and take this off. So I don't forget about it later, which I tend to forget shit. Another bucket. Okay, so this goes on here. Probably give it a good tap. And this should sit right down on here. And this is coming off. Now it says to soak the filters and run it through discard at least once or twice. Is there a hair in the bucket? Okay. So let's see. Okay. Get a light. Okay, yeah, there's hardly anything in there, so it's not even maybe a pint or two filtered out. So about 3 gallons right about here. It's the top of this line, so 5 gallons will be almost all the way up. Set the lid on here. Let's see, it's been at least 5 minutes. Alright, so stopwatch. Let's say about 5 minutes. I have to check the video. So we'll go from there and find out. See what it says. So whatever time 35:15, go back and add when I started putting water in, and then come back to see how long this takes, and then finish up with an update. Yeah. So at this rate, probably will take 20 or 30 minutes at least for it to fill up 3 gallons. And I'll dump that, fill up 5 more gallons is how long it takes to do 5 gallons. Because it'll be soaked and already run through once. So yeah, I think I'm alright for today. Alright. Catch up a little bit.